happy Tuesday. Happy day 97 of the year. It is the 7th of April today. It is another lovely day here in Veliko Tarvano in Bulgaria. Hopefully you have had a beautiful start to your day so far. Have you been outside, checked in with yourself, connected with the natural world, noticed what's going on in your environment around you, and noticed how that's having an impact on you? Never forget the importance of your environment for your overall well-being and just having an effect on you in general. Remember the weather, the light, the seasons, all kinds of things that are going on in your environment around you can have a big impact on how you're feeling or your mood, your emotions, all those kind of things. So always check in with yourself, and if you find yourself kind of, getting a little upset or frustrated about something, just take a pause, take a deep breath and be like, all right, do I maybe am I too hot right now? Do I need to get into the shade? Well, is the wind really bothering me? Do I need to perhaps go inside? Am I dehydrated? Do I just need to go and have a glass of water? Just always check in and make sure that it's not something in your environment that you could very easily, change to get you out of that sometimes you can get into that state where things just frustrate you and you're about to snap and perhaps become a version of yourself that you don't want to be. Just always check in and make sure it's not something, pretty small that's easy to change, and that's usually got a lot to do with your environment. And if you're someone who's quite susceptible to noise, right now there's construction going on across the street and it just really, really bothers me, like hearing that sound all day long. I know that I'm very sensitive to that, so I try to avoid being in environments where it's like that. I also know that I'm very sensitive to light. The light in a room or the light that's given off by lamps and such can be very disturbing to me if it's not right. So I understand that noise and light have a really big impact on my overall well-being and how I feel. So I always just check in when I go to a new place, or I'm a little bit like something's a little bit off. I look around and I'm like, oh yeah, the lighting's really weird. Oh, there's a weird sound happening over there. Or I'm also very susceptible to wind. Like when the wind is crazy and there's stuff blowing around everywhere, it makes me a little bit like, argh. So I try to get myself out of windy areas as well. So little bit of a random conversation there, but always check in with the environment that you are in physically and notice and observe how that affects you and your well-being. It might be something very, very simple that you can adjust that will make you feel a whole lot better. Anyway, on day 97 of the year, as we are today, our word from 365 Tao is encouragement, which is an encouraging way to start the day. So let's find a nice quiet and comfy place where we're not going to be disturbed for the next 15 minutes or so, remembering that 15 minutes is just 1% of our day. And all that said, make sure it's an environment that's comfortable and quiet and cozy for you, where you're going to enjoy these 15 minutes and you're going to enjoy this practice that you've committed to for the last 97 days. Open up your books to page 97. Be here, now and present, and let's start reading together on the subject of encouragement. 1,000 miles from home, I open the same prayer book. Some nights it was only obligation. Tonight it is comfort. It is best to be patient and persevering. Devotion may sometimes seem to be pure drudgery. Away from home, it's possible to gain a new outlook. Taken from its usual context, our commitment can stand out all the more brilliantly. Something that may have become like a bit and a bridle may now be warm and comforting. That is why one should master one's emotions and use discipline to even out the ups and downs of impulse. So it's interesting, my little rant that I went on about environment this morning actually came up in the first paragraph of our reading today. One should master one's emotions. And if we are in the right environment and we're feeling good about our well-being physically, it's going to be much easier to master our emotions if we're not overwhelmed by what's going on outside of us. And it's interesting, we're also piggybacking a little bit on what we were speaking about yesterday about travel and this wonderful practice that we're developing here, and the fact that you can do it anywhere in the world. As we said here, 1,000 miles from home, I open the same prayer book. That absolutely relates to me right now. I'm way more than 1,000 miles away from my home. I'm currently in Bulgaria, which is literally on the other side of the world where I'm from, but I'm still opening the same book every single day. And that's the wonderful thing about this practice. You can do it anywhere you are in the world. So let's continue. When traveling, we are away from our usual surroundings, including those elements that suppress and restrict us. Nearly all of us have fears, frustrations, and inhibitions that we have acquired in the past. Time and distance help us to assess them more clearly. To overcome them takes courage and initiative. How can we do it if our very problem is fear and timidity? That is when we need a friend to help and encourage us. They can give us the guidance and support to face our fears. Although they can neither live our lives nor solve our problems outright, they can provide an invaluable presence just when we need it most. Oh, that's a really beautiful way to think about friendship, right? And take a moment to think about the special people in your life, the special friendships that you have, and think about encouragement and support and all those wonderful things that true friendship really provides. And I love this sentence here. This is when we need a friend to help and encourage us. They can give us guidance and support to face our fears, and that's what friendship's all about. So nice. Let's continue. Within ourselves, our daily devotions are the way to encourage ourselves to persevere. With others, encouragement is the way to be compassionate. Oh, I love today's passage. And yeah, take a few moments after reading this, and I encourage you to reread it in your own time. But take a few moments now just on that subject to think about all the wonderful people that you have in your life. Think about all the wonderful friendships that you have. Some might be lifelong friendships, people that you've had in your life since you were a child. There might be people that you've met very recently, but they've just become really good friends. You might have great friends in your neighborhood. Perhaps there's a group or a club that you're part of that has a lot of wonderful friendships. And just think about what it means to be a friend and also to have friends. And what does it mean to help and encourage each other? That's what it's all about. It's reciprocal. Sometimes you're the one that's going to need the help and encouragement, and then other times you're going to be the one that's going to give the help and encouragement to your friend, right? And that's the balance of the yin and the yang. It's give and take. Sometimes you're going to be receiving, sometimes you're going to be giving, and it's constantly going to be turning. And that's what, all relationships are like. This one's speaking mostly about friendship, but sometimes in a relationship, in a friendship, one friend is going to need more support and help than the other. And that's part of being a good friend, is being there for that person when they need it. And then when you're the one that needs it, be like, hey, I'm, really struggling right now. I need a bit of support. I need some guidance to face my fears, as it says here. That person will step in for you as well. So a beautiful way to think about reciprocity, balance, and harmonious relationships, which is what we all want. So go out today, and if you can give a friend that you love some encouragement or some help, or maybe after you're doing your practice this morning, you might want to send a few messages out to people that are special to you, or give someone a call and just be like, hey, I just wanted to let you know that I really appreciate your friendship. Thank you so much for being here for me. Or just let people know that you're thinking about them and that you love them. You just never know what someone's going through at any given time, and you sending a nice message or a nice thought to them might really, really make their day. And again, that's what being a good friend is all about as well, is showing up for people all the time, not just when you need something. So on that note, I encourage you on the day of encouragement to go out and have a beautiful, beautiful day, to be grateful for all the wonderful friends that you have in your life, and